Hello, we are Team 11. My name is Carolina.
My name is Gabi.
My name is Rafael.
Okay, so I will ask Gabby if you had something to say to your past self regarding that of mental health. What would you say?
I think I will tell her to keep calm. It may be a storm, for example, at first, and it's a path we all need to go through because at the same time, the pandemic was something none of us was expecting. Like none of us were prepared for something like that. So it was a shock for all of us, and I think mostly us teenagers were the ones that were more affected because we couldn't socialize and we couldn't go to school and we were just like trapped in our rooms. So, for example, myself, I did become a little bit depressed during the pandemic, but I always thought myself like this is something like will help me to learn more about myself and how to, I don't know, come through some scenarios like this in the future. So I would like to tell her like everything is gonna be all right and everything will end. It's just something we have to go through. Okay, now I'm gonna be asking Rafael. So, what role do you think social media plays in shaping our perceptions of mental health, and how can we promote healthier discussions and awareness about this topic and all of these platforms?
I think that social media can serve to, in both ways, it can be negative but also positive, because of the extent of reach that it has on, especially the youth that can be more manipulated by it. It can play a role of them feeling more negative about their situation. They can look for symptoms and then see themselves in different posts. For example, there was, I know, um, an article that came out talking about how Facebook was negatively impacting people with like anorexia because they were just getting content that made them feel worse about themselves. They were being targeted at content. And I think that's a good example of how social media can affect people's mental health. But in another light, I think that it can also help to serve that for people to know that they're not alone in whatever struggle they might be going through, and also promote healthy practices to deal with what is going on with them. And yeah, I think it can have two sides. I think in the future we should definitely focus on implementing resources for people to access help through social media because they're already in it and they already might know what their problems are, so they can just access the help right there. A question that I wanted to ask is, in your opinion, to what extent were different age groups impacted because of the COVID lockdowns?
Well, in my opinion, it's certainly like a really different way that the pandemic affect some group of people. For example, the pandemic started when I was a teenager, so all my friends from school and all my work from school had a negative impact to me. I become a little bit depressed, and in summary, a lot of opportunities were taken off from me. But in another hand, from the perspective of a an adult person like my parents, they were really uh, calm during the pandemic. They did not stop doing their work, and also they just uh, like become really focus on that and in social interactions. So I think that the different age groups affect in the way that the things that they did before pandemic became more necessary during the pandemic, and that's it, I think.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you for seeing this video.
Thank you.